Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by for yet another video. I do appreciate that, and as always, I appreciate you. So, what we have here says the depraved conduct DA says of California couple accused of torturing kids. It says a California district attorney painted a horrible picture of physical and emotional abuse as he announced torture charges Thursday against Riverside County couple accused of keeping their 13 children captive and malnourished in their home. David Turbin, 56, and Louise Turbin, 49, were charged with 12 counts of torture, he said. David Turbin, he said, also was charged with a lewd act on a child by force of fear or duress. This is severe emotional and physical abuse. This is depraved conduct, Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron said. Of the victims, Hestron said they're relieved. Their health is being looked at. They're in good hands. As far as where they're going to end up, I don't know. Other charges include 7 counts of abuse of a dependent adult, 6 counts of child abuse or neglect, and 12 counts of false imprisonment. Hestron did not say whether both suspects faced the last 3 sets of charges. Now, they were scheduled to appear in court Thursday afternoon in arraignments, and Hestron was asking that bail be set at $13 million, which is roughly $1 million per child for each parent. It was not immediately clear whether the Turbins had attorneys. The Turbins had attorneys. If convicted of all charges, they could face a maximum sentence of 94 years and life in prison. Most of the Turbin children suffered from severe caloric malnutrition and several have cognitive impairment as a result of abuse, Hestron said. Hestron said he is filing 12 counts of torture as opposed to 1 count for each of the 13 children because of the 2-year-old child appears to have been getting enough to eat. Now, the prosecutor did gave a few details about the allegation and lewd conduct, saying that only David Turbin is accused of touching a female child in an inappropriate way. Now, since David and Louise Turbin would tie up or chain their offspring as punishment, both the minor children and the adults, Hestron alleged. Punishment would last weeks or even months at a time, Hestron said. Evidence, he added, suggests that victims often were not released from their chains to go to the bathroom. It started out as neglect and became severe, pervasive child abuse. The torture did include beatings and chokings as well, the DA added. Goes on to say that the children were allowed to write in journals and hundreds have been taken into evidence. David and Louise Turbin's alleged abuse of their children started when they lived in the Fort Worth, Texas area and intensified when they moved to California in 2010, the prosecutor said. The charges cover alleged acts in Riverside County from 2010 to the present. Pointing to the children's malnourishment, Hestron said that the 12-year-old has the weight of an average 7-year-old and the 29-year-old weighs 82 pounds. The parents would buy food and apparently let the children see it but not eat it. This included pies left on the counter. Besides suffering severe caloric malnutrition associated with muscle wasting, several have cognitive impairment and neurotherapy, which is nerve damage as a result of this extreme and prolonged physical abuse. The Turbins have been in police custody since Sunday after authorities said they found their children ranging in the age of 2 to 29 appearing malnourished and very dirty, with 3 of them chained to furniture at their home in Paris, southeast of Los Angeles. The siblings have not seen a doctor in the past 4 years and have never been to a dentist, the prosecutor said. Investigators also found many toys in the home, but they were still in their packages. Now, investigators arrived at a teen escaped and called 911, police say, which led investigators to arrive at the home. They say after the 17-year-old crawled out a window at the home Sunday morning and called 911 using a deactivated cell phone she had grabbed from the house. Hestron said that Thursday the 17-year-old had been working on an escape plan with their siblings for more than 2 years. The girl initially escaped with another sibling, but the sibling became frightened and returned home. The girl who escaped told officers her parents were holding her 12 siblings captive and showed them photos the Riverside County Sheriff's Department added. Now, when police arrived, 3 of the children may have been shackled to their beds. Hester said Thursday the parents unchained 2 of them, he alleged. Now, investigators found that the Turbans' children inside of a filthy home in dark and foul-smelling surroundings. The mother was perplexed as to why authorities came to her home, Riverside County Sheriff's Captain Greg Fellows said Tuesday. If you can imagine being 17 years old and appearing to be a 10-year-old being chained to a bed, being malnourished and injuries associated with that, I would call that torture, Fellows said. The investigation is ongoing, but the conditions of the Turban children suggest they've been held captive for a prolonged period of time. Susan Von Zavern, director of the Riverside County Department of Public Social Services, told the reporters Tuesday. The parents also kept them away from everyone. Neighbors said that the kids were rarely seen outside. Relatives said they were not permitted to see them. The children were homeschooled at their Paris home, which kept them away from the public and other students and teachers. Now, the family had lived in Paris since 2014. Those who tried to speak to the children over the years said they were rebuffed. A neighbor of the Turbans said that when they lived in Texas, she told the KTVT that the couple kept them away from everybody. When the neighbor asked one of the children her name, the girl said they weren't allowed to tell people their names, according to that TV station. In 2015, Kimberly Milligan, a neighbor of the Turbans in California, said she was with her son checking out Christmas decorations on nearby homes. Some of the older Turban children were putting up a nativity scene outside their house, and she complimented their decorations. They just froze. Milligan recalled. They immediately shut down. They seemed scared to death, she said. You could tell they were terrified. Milligan said that the children were thin and appeared malnourished. Now, what could be next for these 13 children? The Riverside County Department of Public Social Service is seeking court authorization to provide oversight and care for the 13 siblings to the extent that's necessary, Von Zabern said. At this point, we'll be doing a full assessment with the medical professionals to better understand needs of the adults as well as the children, and we'll be prepared to provide supportive services as well as engage other agencies in assisting these individuals to be stable, she told reporters Tuesday. When asked if they would go to live with family members, Von Zabern said that the practice is to identify relatives who are able to provide care as long as they pass background checks and are suitable and stable. But at the time of the Tuesday press conference, she said no relatives have come forward. Of the 13 siblings, the adults are being treated at Corona Regional Medical Center in Corona, and the 6 children are under care at Riverside University Health System Medical Center in Moreno Valley. Now, just to add, like how the fact that this went on for so long, and then you get these reports from neighbors talking about how they looked malnourished and how they seemed scared and how they froze. Why didn't these people report this at the time? I'm not trying to lay blame on anybody other than the parents. Obviously these kids were scared to death. They were so afraid of their parents that this is what happened. This is why it took them so long to try to escape. Maybe a lot of people won't understand that, but when you are literally scared to that point, it's like it's really mentally, you fear for your life, and that's why they probably did not try to escape for so long. But what I want to understand is, even the family members that also said that they were told to stay away, weren't allowed to see them. Why didn't anyone raise suspicion or say anything? The parents are to blame here, but sometimes people, if you notice something like this, say something. What's that saying? It's better to be safe than sorry, right? So, I'm not blaming the neighbors or the family, but, I think something should have been said or brought up to at least investigate way ahead of it reaching this point. But thankfully, one of the children were able to escape and get everyone help. So, if any further details come up out of this story, I'll get that out to you guys. But, my thoughts and prayers go out to all these children that had to live through such a tragic situation for so many years. I mean, just the world we live in today, But other than that, that's going to be it. So be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.